The Lakehouse Betrayal. The Lakehouse door groaned as I pushed it open, the hinges screaming like a warning I should have heeded years ago. Inside, the air was thick with a scent of cedar and betrayal. My wife, Elise, stood by the kitchen counter, her phone pressed to her ear, her voice a conspiratorial whisper. "We're moving in," she said, her words slicing through the stillness. "It's settled, Tom. The lake house is ours. My $415,000 lake house, my sanctuary, my blood and sweat poured into every polished floorboard, and she was giving it away. To her brother. My stomach churned, a storm of confusion and rage brewing beneath my ribs. I stood frozen, keys dangling in my hand, the weight of her words sinking like a stone in the lake outside. Elise hadn't seen me yet. The late afternoon sun spilled through the windows, painting her silhouette in gold, her dark hair catching the light like a halo she didn't deserve. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but my throat tightened, strangling the words. Instead, I stepped back into the shadowed hallway, my boots silent on the rug, and listened. "He'll come around," she murmured, her voice soft but sharp, like a blade wrapped in silk. "He's too proud to admit his wrong." Wrong about what? My mind raced, replaying every argument, every late-night whisper I'd dismiss as stress. The lake house was my dream, not hers. Why was she so eager to hand it over? The floor creaked under my weight, and Elise spun around, her phone slipping from her hand. It clattered onto the counter, the sound sharp enough to make us both flinch. "David!" she gasped, her green eyes wide, her face a mask of guilt and defiance. "You're early." Her words were too quick, too practiced, and they stung like a slap. I wanted to believe it was nothing, that Tom needed a place to crash after his divorce, that this was just Elise being generous. But the knot in my gut told me otherwise. Something was wrong, had been wrong for months. "Moving in?" I asked, my voice low, trembling with the effort to stay calm. The lake house smelled of pine and damp earth, but all I could sense was a sour tang of deceit. "You promised Tom my house." Elise's lips parted, but no sound came. She crossed her arms, her posture defensive, like a cornered animal. "It's not like that," she said finally, her voice tight. "His family, David, has got nowhere else to go." Her words sounded reasonable, but her eyes darted to the side, avoiding mine. I'd seen that look before, when she'd forgotten to mention her late-night calls, when she'd brushed off my questions about her weekend trips to help Tom. I stepped closer, the wooden floor cold beneath my socks, the lake's gentle lapping outside a cool contrast of the storm inside me. "This is my house, Elise," I said, each word deliberate, heavy. "I paid for it. I built it. You don't get to give it away." Her face hardened, but her eyes glistened, a flicker of guilt she couldn't hide. "It's ours," she snapped, her voice rising. "We're married, David. Or have you forgotten that?" The accusation hit like a punch, twisting my anger into something sharper, doubt. Was I the one being unreasonable? Was I cruel, like she'd said on the phone? The memory of her voice echoed. "He's too proud to admit his wrong." Wrong about what? I wanted to ask, but the question lodged in my throat. Instead, I turned away, my gaze falling on the lake outside, its surface glassy and still, hiding whatever secrets lurked beneath. I thought of the nights we'd spent here, Elise curled against me on the porch, her laughter warm and real. Had that been a lie too? My chest ached, a hollow pain that spread like cracks in ice. I wanted to trust her, to believe this was just a misunderstanding. But the pieces didn't fit. "David," she said, softer now, her hand brushing my arm. I flinched, and her touch fell away. "Tom's struggling. He needs a fresh start. I thought you'd understand." Her voice was pleading, but there was an edge to it, a challenge. I turned to face her, searching her eyes for the woman I'd married, the one who'd promised to build a life with me. But all I saw was a stranger, her secrets coiled tight behind her gaze. "Then why didn't you ask me?" I said, my voice breaking. "Why whisper behind my back?" She opened her mouth, then closed it, her silence louder than any confession. The air between us grew heavy, thick with unspoken truths. I thought of the late-night texts, the way she'd linger in the bathroom with her phone, the way Tom's name came up too often, too casually. Small things I'd ignored, rationalized as paranoia. But now they boned, each one a spark igniting the truth I didn't want to face. "I need air," I muttered, grabbing my jacket and stepping onto the porch. The lake stretched before me, its surface reflecting the bruised purple of the evening sky. I leaned against the railing, the wood rough under my palms, and tried to breathe through the panic clawing at my chest. Elise wasn't cheating, not in the way I'd feared. But this was worse. She was giving away our life, piece by piece, to someone else. To Tom. Her brother. Oh, was he? The thought hit me like a wave, cold and suffocating. I remembered Tom's lingering glances at Elise, the way he'd touch her arm a second too long, the way she'd laugh it off. I told myself it was sibling closeness, nothing more. But now, standing alone on the porch, the lake whispering secrets in the dark, I wasn't so sure. I pulled out my phone, my fingers trembling as I opened her messages. I'd never snooped before, but the weight of doubt was too heavy to ignore. I scrolled through her text to Tom, my heart pounding with every word. He doesn't suspect anything. We'll be together soon. The lake house is perfect. He'll never know. My vision blurred, the words searing into my brain. Not her brother. Not family. Tom was her lover. And the lake house, my lake house, was their escape. The betrayal wasn't just a broken promise. It was a calculated plan, a future they'd built behind my back. My knees buckled, and I gripped the railing, the wood splintering under my fingers. The lake's calm surface mocked me, hiding its depths just like Elise had hidden haze. Inside, I heard her footsteps, hesitant, approaching the door. "David," she called, her voice trembling now, sensing the shift in the air. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. The man she'd married was gone, shattered by the truth she'd buried. "David, please," she said, stepping onto the porch. Her hand reached for me, but I pulled away, my heart a furnace of rage and grief. "You lied," I whispered, my voice raw. "Not just about the lake house. About everything." Her silence was confirmation, her breath hitching as the mask fell away. I turned to face her, and for the first time, I saw her clearly, not my wife, but a stranger who'd stolen years of my life. The lake house stood behind us, its windows dark, reflecting nothing but the truth we could no longer escape. And then, in the stillness, I heard it, a car pulling up the gravel drive. Tom's car. The final piece of their plan, arriving right on cue. My hand tightened on the railing, the wood groaning under my grip, as the world I'd known crumbled into the lake's unforgiving depths.